My encounter takes place in the Great Smoky Mountains in East Tennessee. My family has vacationed in the nearby towns of Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg for as long as I can remember, my entire childhood to be exact. I am now a 38-year-old man, and my memories from there have been so amazing that I now make it a point to take my family at least once a year, even if it's just for a long weekend. It was on one of these trips our lives were changed. It was there we saw something that's not supposed to exist. Oddly enough, I was the skeptic of the family and my wife the believer. I gotta say though, she is second-generation Native American after all, so she claimed to know these things exist from the stories passed down to her, even though she herself had never actually laid eyes on one. She always said she didn't need to. On the day of the sighting, it was hot. The only way you know this kind of hot is if you've ever lived in Tennessee in the middle of summer. I mean, you step outside and just stand still, and within 30 seconds sweat is pouring out of you and your clothes are soaked. Takes no effort at all, just being outside works up a sweat. So the plan was for a picnic beside the creek deep in the Smokies. This way the kids, my wife, and I can wade in and cool off as needed. Pretty much the best activity for that kind of day. It was a perfect day. Reminded me so much of the time I spent there as a boy. Times were much different and easier back then. Well, easy for us kids. We have to become adults to realize what all it took of our parents to provide for us and truly appreciate them. We then just hope for our kids to have the same appreciation for us. That's why making these memories are so important. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. As I was saying, the day was perfect, and as I look back now, may have been too perfect. I can't remember a time that I spent in those mountains that I didn't see some kind of wildlife, but it hit me out of nowhere that we hadn't seen the first sign of life other than us. I mentioned this to my wife, and she said she just noticed the exact same thing, and went on to say she hadn't heard any birds or anything. She and I both got quiet after that, almost on cue it seemed. It was then when the feeling took over, and I could see in her eyes that she felt it too. My daughter, who was 8, and my son 10 were in the creek, while my wife and I were sitting on the picnic blanket. My daughter suddenly calls out, "Daddy, look at that bear." We didn't realize that the kids had already seen what was causing us to be so alarmed. After my daughter yelled, my son said, "Hey, look, he's standing up like a man." "Is that a man, Dad?" I think my wife and I saw it at the same time. This thing was standing upright behind a tree. I remember thinking, who does he think he's fooling? He's way bigger than the tree he's attempting to hide behind. I mean, we could see both shoulders. His left shoulder sticking out to the left of the tree and his head and right shoulder sticking out to the right. This was not a small tree, mind you. This thing was just enormous. My wife and I just sat there. What were we supposed to do? This went on for a couple minutes, I'd say, when our stare was broken up by this softball-sized rock flying in and hitting the ground just behind my wife and me. This caused my wife to scream and the two of us to jump to our feet. When this happened, it spooked the kids. They started crying and running out of the creek to us. It was also frantic, but only lasted a few seconds. When I turned back to look at the big one that had been watching us, it was gone. We all know that it wasn't the one watching us that threw the rock. It came from behind us. The only thing we can come up with is that this one was busted watching us, and another one threw a rock to get our attention so the other could get away. Could it be though? Are these things really that smart? My wife seems to believe so. She has since reached out to some of her relatives that tell us this is exactly what happened, that we were in no danger that day, and to be honest, it never really felt like we were. I'm sure that there are some people out there that have met their demise at the hands of these things. The Smoky Mountains certainly have more than their share of people to go missing and are never seen again. We may be lucky that we weren't added to that number, but like I said, it didn't feel dangerous. I can't help but wonder though if the story would have been different if any one of us would have been alone. I believe there is safety in numbers where these things are concerned. There's one thing I can tell you for certain though. This was no damn bear.